Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of the ZMS podcast. Today we'll be talking about Wandavision episode 4 and the future of the series.
So what do you think about the episode overall?
I thought it was a good episode, and I think it's my favorite episode of the series out of all 4. Here's my ranking. It goes 4, 1, 2, 3.
Okay, good ranking. I like this episode. I thought it was cool. You know, it's kind of like pulling back the curtains a bit. It was kind of seeing like what it was almost like what we were doing. You know, it's like what the fans were doing of speculating stuff. It was almost like seeing, almost like it felt like deja vu in a sense, where it's like everything they're doing is kind of steps that us as the fans did. Like first figuring out that there is a sitcom and that Wandavision are in it, and then expanding on it and answering questions like, are these people real? What is Wanda seeing? Is Wanda in control? And they answered a lot of those questions, and I think that was cool. And I think those first 3 episodes were critical in setting up what was going on so that it had payoff. Like this episode, in many ways, was the payoff of these great sitcom episodes that have these little Easter eggs, and every anomaly in those first 3 episodes get explained. The beekeeper, the helicopter,
So something with the show as an entirety, I think people think there's going to be too many questions answered. I think they're going to end the show with answering some questions, but leaving a lot open for future Marvel stuff.
I don't know. I think WandaVision is going to be contained to this show.
Yeah, I know, but there's going to be some, multiverse bigger questions that won't be answered in WandaVision.
I just think that the big connective tissue is honestly all it's going to be is Wanda. I honestly believe that. I think Wanda's the key. I don't think anything else. Because I think the only reason why I think, yes, I think the multiverse probably connects all 3. But the reason why WandaVision connects into the other 2, I think mainly comes down to the fact that she ends up with Doctor Strange. Because the connective tissue is WandaVision connecting with Doctor Strange, and Doctor Strange is connecting to Spider-Man 3. And I think it's less about, I just think,
Alright, so I want to put something on for us to talk about. They won't be able to see this, but me and you will. I want to talk about some of the things in the trailer for episode 5 that we see.
Yeah, and do you believe this? Do you believe that Wanda will end up being the villain?
I wouldn't say, the main villain, more of not really, there might be an antagonist that we don't know about yet. But I think Vision is going to find out that this is just a fake.
Well, I think what they're going for is, here on out, I think they're going to show, Vision slowly, learn stuff. Because that's, Vision is kind of going to be the hero. And I honestly think Wanda will be the villain.
Also, something I noticed in the new promo is I think they're going to do a Modern Family episode. Because look at this right here. It looks like it's filmed in Modern Family.
Oh, yeah.
And, the interview, it's an interview.
Noticed that.
So I think they're going to do a Modern Family episode. That looks like an interview from Modern Family.
Yeah, that does.
So I think they're going to... If you don't know what we're talking about, it's the shot where she's talking about something, and it looks like it's from Modern Family, like an interview.
It does. See if anyone's talking about that in the comments.
Yeah, let me sort this to new. That's where you see it here. Someone said crappy moneymaker. Disney ruins Star Wars and Marvel Universe next. I don't see. Let me look at the official Marvel Studios upload of it. That might help. 1 second. I'm gonna get my key closer. YouTube. And then I'm gonna do Marvel Studios. If we go to videos, here it is. Zach, I got it. Let me look at the comments. So, I want to see theories. Alright, the way to see theories is to sort it by newest first. So, let's see.
Okay, we don't need to go now. Let's just talk, Lucas.
Yes, it doesn't look like anyone's pointing that out, but I think that's themed to be Modern Family.
Yeah, we'll see. I definitely think they'll stick with the sitcom. Taking a little detour a bit in the world of Star Wars. What's weird about, I think, Star Wars fandom is that, I mean, I wasn't the biggest fan of the Disney Star Wars movies. I didn't really like The Rise of Skywalker. Last Jedi was fine. I liked The Force Awakens and I liked Rogue One. But it's weird that a lot of people say like they ruined Star Wars in the sense that the way I see it is I'm just happy to get more Star Wars after the original trilogy because like I feel like a lot of people forget this, but after the original can you imagine watching it like see that's the thing, a lot of people didn't grow up with these movies, like even me and you didn't grow up with these original Star Wars movies being the only Star Wars movies. But when the original Star Wars movies came out, that was like, it were great films. And when that ended, it was like, this is over. We're getting no more Star Wars. And everybody's sad. Man, no more Star Wars. And so, when the prequels came out and everybody's like, oh my god, Star Wars is coming back, that's like huge. And I think the idea is that I'm always going to be appreciative for more Star Wars. Because we never thought we were going to, the fandom after just the original trilogy thought they were never going to get more. And the way I look at the way I look at Star Wars is the same way I look at like remakes and stuff. Many people like don't remake Back to the Future, don't remake Star Wars, don't remake these classic movies. But the way I look at remakes is it's not like it ruined the original. It's not like like take Ghostbusters for example, the Ghostbusters remake. The remake was bad, but it's not like oh my god, Ghostbusters the original sucks because they made a remake that sucked. No, they don't correlate. And some people say don't make a remake because you can't make it better. But I think the goal of a remake is not to make it better, but to make it different. Do you agree with that?
Yes, like the goal of a remake isn't the same. And same with a reboot. You're not trying to do the same thing. You're trying to make it different.
And I think that's similar to the Disney Star Wars. I think some people when they thought, stuff like that, everybody knew no matter what Star Wars content we got next, it wouldn't be better than the original trilogy. I was just appreciative for any Star Wars. And even though it's not the greatest content, even though Rebels and Last Jedi and Rise of Skywalker are not the greatest content, and I really, don't like how the trilogy ended. By no means did it ruin Star Wars because the excitement of the original trilogy. So many people are criticized how they handled Luke, but even if you don't like how they handled Luke, you still could have that Luke in the original trilogy because it's not like they're deleting the original trilogy. That still you can view that. And if you want, and while yes, technically the sequel films are canon, but if you don't want them to be, you only want to on rewatches on Star Wars marathons only watch that Luke. Okay, who cares? And I think that's what I think. At the end of the day, this is a movie. These are not real things. Where it's like, to me, even if they did, like they killed Han Solo, but I don't care because even though, Han came back in Rise of Skywalker, that made no sense. I didn't care because we could always get the original films. It's not like it ruined, it's not like it undid that Luke was cool in the original films. It doesn't undo that Vader was in the original films. It doesn't undo anything. Because ultimately that's that and that's this, And so I think it's like, they might not have made good Star Wars films, but they don't ruin it. Like, because Star Wars is bigger than just one film. It's bigger than a trilogy. It's bigger than 5 films. Star Wars is an expanded universe of stories, unlike any other franchise that expands books, comics, movies, TV shows. And I honestly think the majority of Star Wars is good.
What did they? You know how the MCU is the Marvel Cinematic Universe? What is it for Star Wars?
Just Star Wars.
They don't have like the Star Wars Cinematic Universe.
No, everybody knows when they think of Star Wars, they think of this vast galaxy far away. So what do you think about that? Do you think a film franchise can truly ruin a film franchise? Can a company ruin a film franchise on the scale of like a Star Wars?
No, they can, like, if there's like a sequel that can mess it up, like, I feel like, but like it can affect how you perceive just because, it's not changing any of it, but it changes the way you look at it.
Yeah, I guess, but I think this idea that, I think Star Wars, see, that's the thing. I think a lot of criticism of these Star Wars films was how they handle, like, literally, if I had to think of 90% of why people criticize these films, they criticize it for subverting expectations in Luke. And like, the Luke thing, I mean, I don't have a problem with how they handled Luke. to be honest, for me. But I can see other people. It's not the same. It's not the same. It's not the same personality of Luke. But like they still. You could still revisit the glory days, and I think. I just think like if you absolutely hated the sequels, hated how they handled Luke. So just never forget about those sequels. Just like I don't think about even though I don't really like the prequels, I don't think about the prequels. And even though I didn't like how they handled, Anakin, when I watched Clone Wars, I still have Clone Wars. Even though I don't like, how they handled Anakin and Attack of the Clones, it doesn't ruin the fact that Clone Wars, Anakin was great. I think it's that we have the power to pick and choose what we like and what we don't like, and we should. I don't think any film should be able to ruin the enjoyment of another movie, in the sense that that movie is its own
The intro doesn't make sense here. Like, we're going to talk about WandaVision, the future of the show, and we're talking 10 out of the 11 minutes talking about Star Wars.
Yeah. Well, what do you think?
I don't have anything to add.
Do you think they handled Luke right in the sequels?
No matter what I say, you're going to go on a rant. So
No.
whatever you say.
No.
Yes, because that's what you say.
No, you could say your opinion.
No. And I don't think they did.
Yeah.
And you did that in a different podcast, going to rant about why they did handle it well, so you don't need to do that again.
Okay. What else? Okay. So I watched Godzilla vs. Kong. Not Godzilla vs. Kong.
Yes, that came out.
Godzilla, King of the Monsters. And I thought it was okay. What did you think of Godzilla, King
I
of the
thought it was good.
What was your favorite part?
They kind of lost, like, the scale of the monsters that they had in the 2014 one.
I think main criticism
The dark, how every fight's in the dark or weather.
No, I think my main criticism was that I didn't care for any of the human characters.
I actually don't agree with that. I hate the argument that there's too many human characters, when if they have a movie that's just monsters fighting with no explanation of why, what's going on, what the humans are trying to do. Just because it's a Godzilla movie doesn't mean there's not humans. They can't do a movie of a monster fighting another monster and expect it to be good with a good plot.
That's not necessarily true, because I think in Kong Skull Island, the best parts of Kong Skull Island were the human characters. So
yes, they could handle it well. Just because that movie didn't do it bad. But people are saying for the new movies that they shouldn't have the human characters. But that's not true. They didn't handle it perfectly, and I think they handled it fine in King of the Monsters.
Yeah. I guess
I think the goal of the franchise is to show what what it's like from a human perspective. Like in Godzilla 2014, most of the movie is from a human perspective, like with the scale and stuff. And that's not even, they didn't even have that in King of the Monsters. Like, there's no scale. There was no shots where you can see the giant monsters lurking above the humans.
And I think a couple things is they didn't really show I think on the human perspective, it kind of felt small scale in that we didn't see in the original Godzilla films and stuff like that, in King Kong and stuff, you see human reactions on the ground, like innocent citizens. Here we literally only saw the reactions of our main character.
That's true. In Godzilla 2014, you see the reactions of the people, but in King of the Monsters,
a good
you
example
never see
of that is the original Avengers. We see humans on the ground as the Chitauri is coming.
Yeah, you don't see that in that movie, and the closest thing see, the reason the human characters aren't handled good is, one, they don't have any normal civilians reacting, and two, the human characters in there know, everything about most of the Titans. Mm-hmm. So, they're not afraid, they're Godzilla's on our side and stuff, they don't have any sense of, fear in them. They're yeah, it's Ghidorah, let's fly towards him and leave Rodan.
The worst character in the whole movie was the female scientist.
Emma?
Yeah, because her plan, she becomes this mustache twirling evil Dr. Doofenshmirtz.
No, Dr. Doofenshmirtz is evil because his brother's man.
No, she's literally the female Dr. Doofenshmirtz. Every episode, he goes into this whole backstory of his whole evil plan.
No, she doesn't have an evil plan. He's doing it just to be evil. She's not comparable to Dr. Doofenshmirtz. She's doing it because she wants to be good and help people. But then, whoa, what a shocker. The Titans are killing humans. Who could have thought that was going to happen?
No, she literally set her whole evil plan.
Yes, an evil plan, but she thought it wasn't evil. Dr. Doofenshmirtz knows it's
Don't-
evil.
Well, she knew it was evil.
No, she thinks it's good. Did you not pay attention to her speech?
She knew it was evil. I don't.
No, she
Then
thinks
she's
it's
an
good the
idiot.
other guy.
Then
Yes,
that's part
she's
of
an
the
idiot. That's the criticism. That she's an idiot and didn't expect the Titans to kill people. She's an idiot in the movie. Not that she's evil. She said she's doing it to help the world so Titans can coexist with humans. And then when the Titans start killing people, she's surprised. You didn't
But
understand
then I just
that?
don't get why. If she knew that they were planning on stopping them, why would she believe that everyone whose whole goal is to protect these Titans and protect humans at the same time? Why would she think it would be good to say their whole plan? It's weird.
No, their plan was to release the Titans to spread, like, the plants and the forests and stuff to help people, but when Ghidorah starts killing people, she goes against them. She's not evil, she's just, like, crazy. She's insane, not evil.
Yeah, I guess. But then it's like, again, her motivation is to it's just like, why, like, this goes down to, like, script and storytelling. It's like, when you craft a kind of a character like that, give reason why. I think her...
Yes, they did give reasoning. Because she wants to help the world, and she thinks that, like, releasing the Titans, because the Titans, like, if you were reading the end credits, if you were reading, like, stuff in the opening credits and end credits, it was showing, like, that the Titans walking and stuff, like, just them standing. Like, after San Francisco got destroyed, there was plants growing and everything. So she thinks that will help the world by replacing plants. That's the motivation. They
literally,
explain that.
but then I think that's dumb because in something that could be so risky as releasing every monster, you want substantial evidence. Oh, Godzilla went in. Not only is it one monster, it's one city. One monster, one city. Not multiple monsters, one city. Not even multiple monsters, multiple cities. She had no test to prove releasing every single monster would
I know,
work.
she's insane. They clearly said that. And she didn't expect Ghidorah to be evil because she didn't know. I don't think she knew Ghidorah was an alien.
Well, that's why I didn't like the character, is because you didn't make a compelling character. You made an idiot.
Yeah, that's true.
And I think that's the problem. Is it's like the greatest villains, like Thanos, like Darth Vader, like Darth Sidious. What they believe, what they're doing is right.
No, I don't think Darth Sidious thinks what he's doing is right.
Yeah, he thinks he's bringing order to the galaxy.
Yeah, that's true.
Darth Vader thinks he's doing justice for the galaxy by helping Sidious bring order to the galaxy and helping it. He's trying to help his son and his daughter and
true.
bring order to the galaxy. Thanos thinks he's bringing order to the galaxy by
order to the galaxy
by population control.
Yeah.
And Killmonger thinks he's by releasing Wakandic technology to the world. He thinks he's helping.
No, I agree. I don't think Killmonger's really that much of a villain in that movie. He's just antagonist, not a villain.
He's a villain.
Yes, he did do evil things, but his main goal isn't evil.
Yeah, his main goal is not actually evil, but you're an evil person when the steps you take to do it.
Yes, he does evil things to get what he wants, but he's not an evil person.
But that's the thing. Those are the greatest villains. The greatest villains are the ones that believe what they're doing is right, but also have reason to believe and are doing it in a sane way, like Thanos. Well, the only way to do that is not only having a goal, but setting it out, and not only what they believe is right, but also you can see how they're right. When I think about her theory, I'm like, okay, but we all know, that's the thing. If this movie was not, King of the Monsters, and we know there was gonna be fighting, maybe there'd be maybe that could work, but we all know that's not how it works. So it's hearing all that, it's okay, but there's no substance to it,
Yeah.
But and then all the other human characters, I like them, but they were all just mainly there to give exposition.
Yeah.
I honestly think there wasn't enough Godzilla fighting.
Yeah.
Well, mainly because there was think about it. Think about this. How quick was Godzilla versus Ghidorah round 2? The final fight. It was mainly just the humans getting away.
Yeah. Well, no, but you don't understand. The point of the Godzilla movies has never necessarily been just about the monsters. It's always been about, well, like, the originals were, this is not the same.
Well, when we're talking about,
like,
we're talking about
the
2014
plus movies. If we're talking about the 1950s and stuff, that's a metaphor for nukes and stuff. That has nothing to do with what they're doing in the newer ones.
Continue.
But the point of these movies isn't really to show, like, the Godzilla movies have never been just, there's always human characters in these movies because, like, they can't just have the monsters doing... And there's been weird ones, like Son of Godzilla and stuff. There's been weird monster ones. But, like, the point of these newer movies is not just to show monsters fighting, but to give, like, point to, like, what's going on. They can't just see... If they showed us just the monster parts, we'll have no idea what's going on.
So, then that the issue is, okay, so then create good characters.
Yes, the characters were weird.
That's the similar thing to Spider-Man 3. A lot of people don't criticize Sam Raimi. They criticize the studio because the studio made him throw in Venom. And many people are like, well, it's not his fault. The studio made him throw Venom in there. To that, I'd say, so make a good movie with Venom. And I think that's the problem with this movie. I'm fine with you focusing on the characters. I think the human characters are way better than Godzilla. And then in Kong, I think the human characters are the best part of Kong Skull Island. So, create good characters. They create a scientist this male scientist who has a daughter and whatever, he's stereotypical, father.
I think every character except the villains are good.
Yeah.
Like, the villains' reasoning is just, meh.
And then, like, the other villains, have, like, literally, their whole mission is just to, like, they didn't give, like, it's hard for me to even care because the villains are basically like robots. They're like, I am heartless, cold, selfish, suicidal. So let's
that's not what he was doing.
They're suicidal.
Yes, they're doing it because they think it's helping by letting everyone die. They're not doing it just for pure evil.
They're not doing it.
If you think that, then you didn't watch the movie. Because they said 100 times they weren't doing it just to kill everyone. Yeah, they were okay with everyone dying as long as the world goes back to how it originally was, with the Titans being the dominant species. They didn't care if the humans died. So yes, but they're not like... They're trying to do like a Thanos-style villain, where the villain has like good reasoning. They didn't do it successfully, but that's what they were trying to do.
Okay, but in these movies, the protagonists are not the monsters. Our protagonists are the humans. Like, besides Godzilla and Kong, every other monster in all three of these movies are villains. Besides Godzilla and Kong and Mothra or whatever, they're all villains. And even Godzilla, let's be honest, he's protecting the world, but believe me, he's killed, I don't even know, probably millions of
Godzilla's an anti-hero. He doesn't go out of his way to kill humans until Godzilla vs. Kong, when something's like causing him to want to do it, but like he's never directly going out of his way to hurt people unless he thinks he's threatened. Like, people think he's the villain of like 2014 movies. He was the hero in that one. At the end, he was like walking to sea, everyone was clapping because he killed the Mutos.
I guess, but I think another thing is like so their goal is to protect the humans, but like we don't care about Ghidorah. Ghidorah's evil. We don't care about Rodan. Rodan's evil, and to that extent, we don't care about these monsters because our monsters are, again, like your point, they're not the main characters of these movies. So how can we root for someone who's not trying to save our main characters?
What do you mean?
Our main characters are not Godzilla and Kong and Ghidorah and Rodan and Mothra.
No. The people in, like, the main team in King of the Monsters were trying to save Godzilla. They were on Godzilla's side, just not Ghidorah's.
Yeah, but I'm saying on the villain side, the villains are from our perspective, because movies are by perspective. Because, like, for example, the Joker is a good example. The Joker is an evil character, but when we see Joker 2019, we see it from Joker's perspective. Joker's telling the story, so we feel more sympathetic. Similar to Infinity War. Infinity War is told by Thanos' perspective, so we feel more sympathetic. From this movie's perspective, we're told from three characters' perspective. The daughter, the mother, the father. Three different perspectives of this movie.
Well, it's not the father. It's more like Team Godzilla.
Yeah, Team Godzilla. We're seeing Team Godzilla and we're seeing Team suicidals.
Yeah, just team eco-terrorists.
And again, that's why it's hard to root for them. Like again, like we said, Thanos not only thinks what he's doing is right, you can see how he thinks he's doing right. Whereas our villains in this movie, I just don't see how they're protecting the humans.
Yeah, no, the villains aren't trying to protect humans. Emma thinks that what they're doing is fine because she's insane.
I'm talking about the terrorists.
Yes, the terrorists aren't trying to protect humans. They don't care if humans die as long as the monsters live and are free.
Yeah, that's the problem. That's the problem. Is I don't care about I don't like I just think the villains are not like even.
It's not horrible to have villains that are just evil. There's nothing wrong with that.
But then that's another thing. He pops up at the terrorists pop up at the beginning, a little bit in the middle, then vanish till the end credits. Phew. Oh, Godzilla's fighting. What are they doing?
No. Did you not understand what happened? When Emma was leaving, they said we don't care as long as Ghidorah's free, and then they just stopped because they were fine as long as Ghidorah's free. They had no idea Mothra could die and then give Godzilla her energy, and then Godzilla would go nuclear. They had no idea they nuked Godzilla. They had no idea about that.
Another dumb thing is so they didn't. So if they it seemed like Emma knew that Godzilla was good, and it seemed like did the terrorists not do the research that Godzilla's good?
No, they were.
Did they know Godzilla was good?
I don't think so. How would they know that?
Well, then why would you... If you assume releasing all the monsters would be, all the monsters are just going to team up
No, they didn't seem to... They knew they were going to be war. They were fine. As long as there's an alpha, they were fine. They were okay with the Godzilla versus... Why do you do that thing with your head now?
I don't know.
The Godzilla versus Ghidorah, as long as one of them won.
Well, what if Ghidorah won and wiped out all the monsters? And Ghidorah
No, Ghidorah wasn't trying to wipe out the monsters. He was just trying to be the alpha. And Godzilla was contesting him.
I guess. But then Mothra died because Mothra was helping. So now are you going to say that Mothra... I don't know. Just, But if... I don't know.
How the Mothra character works throughout every Godzilla movie... Why? Are you okay?
Yeah.
Alright, because how Mothra works in every Godzilla movie is... there's always, an egg. There's never one incarnation of Mothra.
I guess. I think the problem is that they didn't, explain enough the thought process of all these different characters and stuff. Because, when you have characters like these eco-terrorists and, these Emma and stuff, you can't just you can't just buy into what Emma's doing by one PowerPoint. You can't explain what the eco-terrorists doing by one monologue. Because what they're doing, this movie is just weird in the sense that they don't know if they want to focus on the villains at some parts, or the heroes, or Godzilla. In the sense that you know what this reminds me of? It reminds me of Civil War. In the sense where I love Civil War, but Zemo didn't need to be there. Similar to this movie, I don't think the eco-terrorists need to be there. All they need to do is say, Orca messed up and all the monsters released itself.
I think the Godzilla, Team Godzilla scenes in King of the Monsters with all of them in the ship and stuff kind of reminded me of the newest episode of Wandavision with them trying to figure out kind of what's going on and stuff, working together. Those scenes were good. I just think the bad scenes are the just villain scenes.
Yeah. I guess, but I think what I think made the WandaVision scenes were better were that they kind of relatable in that they didn't know much. We're learning through them learning. We're just learning who we're just learning through the eyes of probably the 5 most brilliant people on the planet at that point. Because it's hard to relate, because, how can we relate to this monarch scientist? Whereas we can relate to, Jimmy Woo Jimmy Woo feels like he's like us, just another fan theorizing what's going on in WandaVision. Whereas we can't relate to what this guy's doing.
I didn't say it was similar. I just said it had the same.
I guess.
Film.
Well, also same tone of just outsiders looking in and stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, I liked it. I think the best part was probably the visuals and the CGI and VFX.
Something weird is I just feel the tone of King of Monsters, the color correction, the filming
was dark.
No, was not there. That's a good thing actually. It just Godzilla vs. Kong doesn't look like a sequel to it just because of the way it's filmed, which is kind of a good thing because it would be better with more brightness and stuff. Like, everyone just wants a daytime Godzilla vs. Kong fight. That's all people want. Or any monster fight, as long as it's during the day where you can see what's going on. And they have enough money to do the CGI for at least one of those.
You know, I think a lot of people forget that the first delay of Godzilla vs. Kong had nothing to do with the pandemic.
Yeah, it was because CGI, right? Zach, what are you doing?
And I think
are you okay? Your head keeps going like that.
Yeah.
All right.
I think the main reason was they wanted, because like you said, they're able to do the CGI better in dark, and I think they did it.
No, they don't do the CGI better. They can do it
spotty,
worse.
Yeah, and I think maybe the reason why they wanted extra time was so that they were able to nail down the daytime fight.
Yeah.
Because I'm thinking,
you don't want it looking like you don't want it looking like Wonder Woman 1984.
Yeah. I guess CGI in general is better at dark.
It's always better when there's something blocking it. So if it's like more plastic, you can't really tell.
And I think that's why I think they also always set these big fights in big cities, so that when you have the cities, it's like, yes, it's Godzilla, but half of Godzilla's blocked by a big building.
Yeah, well, another reason for that is because that's just Godzilla's character, where he's known for being like a destructor of cities and stuff. Like, if it's not a city fight, you're going to have Godzilla fighting in a bear mountain. That's easier for the CGI team when you think about it.
Yeah, I guess.
Because they don't need to have physics of crashing into buildings. Have you seen, like... Here, let me show you. Godzilla...
Well, Godzilla's a tall-ass monster. You know what? Okay, this is a good segue to end this.
Look at this.
Oh my
you
God.
want, like, this scenery?
Is that in Search for the Worst?
No, they don't Godzilla movies, but they should be. I forgot which movie is this?
Lucas, if you lived in the 50s, you would have loved these movies.
Look.
Have you ever tried to comment on, like, random movie YouTube videos just to see how much people watch other, Like, no. Can you imagine you just comment, say, something, and then it's like, oh, Platypie watches New Rock Stars, or Platypie watches these different channels?
Why'd you say that, Zach?
Oh, shit.
I don't want to upload this. I want to delete this.